Breaking news, Tyson Fury splits with trainer Ben Davison. So this came to me late last night. The Gypsy King Tyson Fury has split with his trainer of his last 5 fights, Ben Davison. So, when Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko about 3-4 years ago, he beat the undisputed champion and became undisputed. And he was meant to be projected exultantly as the superstar in the UK and also the potential ruler of the heavyweight division, because he beat Klitschko, who had been in charge for a long time, had a lot of defenses. However, when the Klitschko Tyson Fury rematch was announced, Fury pulled out because of an injury, and then after the injury, he had to issue a dispute with the British Boxing Board Commission because of substance abuse, which there wasn't really a lot of information in regards to what. It was dealt with very confidential, but it took a long time to resolve. Now, in that time getting it resolved, Tyson Fury put on 100 pounds of weight and had drug and alcohol abuse issues as well, and was depressed, was having like a mental health breakdown. So he hooked up with Ben Davison, who a young trainer, and Ben spent a lot of time with Tyson, building up his confidence, his self-esteem, jogging with him on a daily basis, training with him, going over technical boxing things. And after his dispute with the boxing commission had been resolved, Fury announced his combat, and he took on Davison as his trainer because he trusted him and they were tight friends through the depressive times up until the time of his combat. So Tyson Fury had tune-up fights against two fighters who aren't top 10 heavyweights and aren't meant to beat you. They're just meant to help you get through a training camp so you can work on your lung capacity, your sharpness, your timing, the technical aspects of your game. Francesco Pianetta was one guy, and the other opponent was called Sefer Safiri. Now, after the Safiri fight, it was announced that Tyson Fury would now make his way into the top 10 and fight one of the best fighters in the world, the WBC heavyweight champion, Deontay Wilder. And me personally, I was surprised that he was taking that fight so early, because I kind of thought, 100 pounds overweight, being depressed, and then going back and fighting the best fighter ever, or not, sorry, let me get it right, going back and fighting one of the best fighters in the division, that's kind of unheard of. Like when George Foreman made his comeback, fair play, Foreman was a lot older, but Foreman was massively overweight when he came back, and he had probably about 10 fights before fighting Holyfield. When Tyson made his comeback, Tyson had 4 fights. Let's have a look. 3 fights. 3 fights before fighting Bruno, but Tyson was always in good shape. He went in prison and he lost weight, so it wasn't like he was losing weight. But anyhow, he took the fight, and we're all pessimistic thinking, A, you're taking this fight a little bit too early, but B, you've got this young trainer. How is he going to help you if you get stuck against Wilder? So Fury, he goes to Big Bear and uses Abel Sanchez's facilities. So Abel Sanchez was Golovkin's trainer at the time in his training camp, and then he heads down to Freddie Roach's camp, does some sparring with Freddie Roach's people, and he takes on Freddie Roach and Ricky Hatton in some kind of assistant capacity. But Ben Davison is the head trainer in the corner on that night, and as we know, the fight's a draw. Fury gets knocked down twice, but many feel that Fury outboxes Wilder and he won the fight despite the knockdowns. And that helps Tyson Fury's, believe it or not, Tyson Fury's and Ben Davison's credibility, as many thought Fury won, and they thought, wow, Davison, you're such a young man, but you've done a great job with Tyson Fury. Look at what he's done. And that leads to Bob Arum now becoming a co-promoter alongside Frank Warren with Tyson Fury, and Bob Arum comes with the ESPN network. ESPN is a massive TV network, and Tyson Fury signs I'm not sure how many fights, but a fight deal with ESPN. So ESPN will now market Tyson Fury in America to help boost his profile. It's a $100 million deal, and in his first fight, he fights Tom Swartz, stops him in 2 rounds, looks really good. Then his second fight, he fights someone called Otto Wallin, doesn't look so good, gets cut early, and doesn't fight the usual stick and move boxing style, but has to trade and slug it out to get the victory. which I respect him for, because you have to adjust when you fight, but that's not what they had in mind. Commentating on that fight in the UK was Fury's dad, John Fury. No, Tom Fury. Is it Tom or John? Let's call him Papa Fury for now, yeah? So Papa Fury says, my son looks like trash. You can tell he's not strong. He's coming too light, and this young trainer, Ben Davison, is going to get him beat. He needs to get rid of Ben Davison. So my assumption is this fight was about 3 months ago, and since then, Tyson's met with Papa Fury. They've had some chats. Papa's given him a straight and said, listen, Tyce, he's all right. He's young, he's all right. But for you, for the best ever in division, you don't want to be having him in your corner. You're not going to beat Wilder with him in your corner. He's going to get you beat. And I'm also assuming that the ESPN network, Bob Arum, and maybe Frank Warren, said to Tyson Fury, listen, Ben Davison's good. He's got a great future ahead of him. You can keep him on. But why not get the best trainer in the world? Because if you go to America, Wilder's hometown, and fight him again, if the fight is close, they're going to give it to him like they gave it to him last time. So let's put you in the best position, which means one of the best trainers. That's just my assumption of what's happened behind the scenes. I don't know. You might know different information. If you do, please let me know. So, what does Fury do? Well, they announced a split yesterday, and he says, I'm hooking up with Sugar Hill, Javon Sugar Hill. So, who is Javon Sugar Hill? Javon Sugar Hill is the nephew of Emmanuel Stewart. Who is Emmanuel Stewart? If you guys are casuals, I'm going to educate you. Emmanuel Stewart is regarded as one of the best trainers ever in boxing. If we're going to look at like who the best trainers are, I don't know all the names, but I know these names are going to come up. Emmanuel Stewart, Eddie Fudge, Cus D'Amato. Emmanuel Stewart, the fighters he's had Oscar De La Hoya for a short period of time. He's had Andy Lee from the UK. He's had Michael Moorer. So Michael Moorer, vicious puncher. They split when Moorer went to heavyweight. He had Joe McClellan, vicious puncher. He split with Stewart just before the Nigel Benn fight. He had Thomas Hearns, one of the hardest hitting punches of all time, only a lightweight. A wicked knockout over Roberto Duran. You know, Thomas the Hitman Hearns, Hall of Famer. And Emmanuel Stewart grew Hearns from scratch. He had him as an amateur. Also, at heavyweight, Lennox Lewis, Vladimir Klitschko. Probably more fighters, because the Kronk gym, which Stewart ran, was known for like wicked sparring, wicked fighters, tough fighters. Also, let me just add this in as well. Holyfield lost to Riddick Bowe, right? He lost his first fight to Riddick Bowe. In the rematch, when Holyfield beat Bowe, Holyfield had Emmanuel Stewart as his trainer. Lennox Lewis, when Tyson was in prison in the early 90s, was one of the best heavyweights in the division at the time. So Lewis, Bowe, Holyfield, Foreman. Lewis beats Tucker for the WBC belt. It was like an eliminator because Riddick Bowe threw the belt in the bin. So Lewis then gets the belt. He defends it. He beats Frank Bruno. Then he fights Oliver McCall, who McCall was a journeyman at the time. Oliver, the atomic bull McCall, knocks out Lewis in 2 rounds. Who trains McCall for that fight? Emmanuel Stewart. What's Lewis's next move? He sacks his trainer, takes Emmanuel Stewart as his trainer, and has a great heavyweight run where he beats fighters like Ray Mercer, Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Vitaly Klitschko, so on and so forth. So Tyson Fury is going to the Kronk gym. Now, we don't know how good Sugar Hill is, but we do know that he trained Adonis Stevenson, and we do know that early in Fury's career, Fury spent time at the Kronk gym with Emmanuel Stewart and Javon. And Emmanuel Stewart said it in an interview once, and also Fury has as well, but Stewart said that he believed at the time, this is when Tyson Fury was green and was just a prospect, that Fury is going to be the best fighter in the division because he's so big, has great movement, so on and so forth. And Fury has mentioned that in the first Wilder fight build-up, saying that this is a prophecy from Emmanuel Stewart that I'm going to be the best and me and Wilder are going to fight. So I think from a subconscious, or you may want to call it spiritual point of view, Fury feels that going back to the Kronk gym under Emmanuel Stewart's nephew is the right move for him. And, you know, sometimes in sport, you just need a 3% edge to be the best, you know? So I think that's part of the reason why Fury is now with this fighter. Don't be surprised if when they announce the fight against Wilder, when it gets made in February, if they try and get that fight in Saudi Arabia, like with the Fury, with the AJ and Ruiz fight, because there's going to be different kind of money there, big money there, but Fury, if Bob Arum is using his head, they're not going to want to have that fight in America because that favors Wilder if the fight is close. I believe. So anyhow, what's your thoughts? Is it a good move that Tyson Fury's left Ben Davison? What do you think about him going back to the Kronk gym? Do you know anything about Javon Sugarhill? How good is he? Let me know. This is MSLB, Mark Stoddler's Boxing. We do this. Have a great day. Blessed.